Alrighty, cherubs. So today we're going to talk Imperial Rome. We've got a lot to cover. So let's go ahead and get started. There are multiple video clips for this, and I do need you to watch them because they are going to greatly enhance your experience about these pieces, and they're going to help you understand kind of the size and the scale, the engineering prowess of the Romans and what they're able to do with their architecture and how they're able to bend concrete to their will. Make sure you go ahead and take that quiz for the Republican Romans from last time, and then we'll move on. By way of review, we have our themes that we've covered so far. The Mesopotamians are all about power and control. The Egyptians are questing for immortality. The archaic Greeks are looking for naturalism, while the classical Greeks are looking for idealism. Hellenistic Greeks are talking about emotional reality and the human experience. The Etruscans are just loving life, while the Republican Romans are looking at verism, trying to make a truthful art. In Imperial Rome, our theme is conspicuous consumption. They are taking what they're doing and making it massive and obvious and huge. They are speaking to the largest empire in, obviously, the world at this point, in the Western world anyway. And they're showing off their might, their power. Conspicuous consumption, obvious, blatant displays of power. So our pieces today, we're going to chop this video into sections for you to make it a little more digestible. We've got a statue, we've got an amphitheater, we've got a sarcophagus, we've got a temple, we've got a forum with a column. Okay. So we've got the Roman Empire, or the Roman period. We talked about the Republic last time. And remember, the Republic ended with shenanigans, with a series of civil wars. Things didn't go so well. And it only ends when you have the great nephew of Julius Caesar, who is his adopted heir, taking over the empire, who kind of beats back all of his opponents and becomes the last guy standing. And in doing so, he becomes the emperor, the first emperor. And that's Octavian Caesar, and he names himself, Caesar's is his family name, he names himself Augustus. Okay, he gives himself that honorary title. So we get the early empire, the high empire, and that's where we're going to spend a bulk of our time. And then we'll just dip our toes into the late empire, and then next time when we talk about antiquity, late antiquity, finish up the Roman Empire. So like all empires, Rome is going to be ruled by dynasties, by families. And here are how the dynasties break down in Rome. Now we've got a story. We're going to be telling the story of 5 emperors. And so we're going to chop this into 5 videos for your convenience. So you can just keep hitting click and next and going on into the next emperor. But the 5 emperors today. All right. So we've got Augustus the First, Nero, Vespasian, Trajan, and Hadrian. All right. So in the Republic, the sculpture is going to be veristic. We talked about that last time. They're going to want to portray those good family values that they prized as Romans. They're going to want to represent the ideal Roman, as serious, hardworking, family-minded, frugal, no funny business. As we go to the empire, sculpture is going to change, and it's going to glorify youth and beauty and idealism. Okay, and so you're going to see this shift. For example, when we look at Augustus next, you're going to see his sculpture. He's going to have his face sculpted as a young man, well into his 70s. Okay, he's going to keep sculpting himself or have himself sculpted as a 20-year-old forever. Okay, they idealize, they cherish beauty and youth. Sound familiar? So we got the Republic, and boy, things change when we get to the Empire. All right, so our first piece then is a statue of the first emperor, and this is the Augustus of Primaporta. This statue, now hopefully when you look at this, it immediately pulls your mind into thinking about another piece that we discussed. Hopefully when you look at this, you automatically think, he looks familiar-ish. He kind of reminds me of the Doryphoros. Okay. Now, there's a lot of similarities, but there's also some notable differences. Similarities, obviously, it's marble. Okay. It's a dude. And he's got this great contrapposto stance. Okay. He's got this. Let me grab the laser pointer. He's got his weight put all on one leg and not on this other one. He's kind of taking a step forward. Obvious differences. This is a specific person. Doryphoros, remember, was generic. It was just this idealized athlete. Augustus here is a real human. And as far as we can tell, this is what he looked like in his youth. He's holding his robe here, his tunic. He's wearing armor. He's pointing, he's gesturing, rather than holding something, he's gesturing out into the distance. He's looking out into the distance, and he's got this stand that helps support the statue, help hold him up, and it's got this little cherub on it. All right, now, what's he doing here? The Augustus of Primaporta is a propaganda piece. And this is political propaganda at its finest. What he's doing here is he is trying to quell any lingering doubt about his fitness to rule the empire. And he's trying to say, like, very subtly, I'm a good guy. You can trust me. You can trust me. First of all, we like pretty people. So he depicts himself as young, which at the time he was, but he maintains that youth throughout the years. He calms down his hairstyle. He used to have a more flamboyant hairstyle, but he calms down his hairstyle so it's more acceptable to the conservative Romans. He is lightly armored, so we know that he is a serious military general. But he's not aggressive. He doesn't have any weapons. He doesn't have a sword. He doesn't have a spear. He's just got this breastplate. Okay? He's holding his tunic here in the pose of an orator or a philosopher. Now, an orator, Romans very much prized the idea of eloquence. They wanted you to be able to speak and to articulate very clearly your thoughts and your arguments. All right. They prized oration. And so he's going to have himself depicted in this way, orating, giving a speech, a very eloquent speech, and possibly as a philosopher as well, as a thinker of thoughts. His gesture, he's calling you to follow him forward. Okay. He knows the way. He knows where he's going. And that's what his gesture is indicating to us. Now, notice he's barefoot. He's barefoot, which again shows his humility. He's a good, humble citizen of Rome. All right. And he's also, he's got that cherub. Now, the cherub is Cupid. Cupid is the son of Venus, And what he's doing here is he's claiming descent from Venus through Aeneas. Okay? He's saying that he too is a son of Venus via Aeneas, the founder of Rome, as is Cupid. Okay, so he's claiming descent from the gods here, and it ends the sea. I'm descended from the gods, so I'm supposed to be in charge, and that's what he's doing. And on his breastplate, then, okay, the Romans previously had gotten into a war with the Parthians, the people living in Persia, and they had lost a legionnaire standard. It's this battle. What's this? Battle implemented to represent Rome, and they had lost it to the Parthians. Augustus manages to broker a truce or a treaty. There we go, with the Parthians. Excuse me, and is able therefore to get the standard back. And so that's what the breastplate is depicting. It's the Parthians handing back the standard to the Romans, all right, while the gods look on in wonder and approval. So this piece of propaganda is very it's subtle in some ways and very obvious in others, but it is propaganda and saying like, I was destined to be in this spot, to be the ruler of Rome. Now, he never claimed himself to be emperor. He just said he was first among equals. And when you hear the rhetoric of first among equals, then you know dictator. Okay. So his merits are many. Augustus does finally bring peace to the Roman Empire. But he also sets up a system of dictatorship that lasts for the next 400 years. So again, we've got pluses and minuses with Augustus. Okay. Here you can see a close-up of that breastplate with the gods watching Zeus here above, watching the Parthians give back the standard to the Romans. Now, he had copies of this statue made and circulated throughout the empire. Alrighty. And that's important to know. So people could see him and see that he was the savior of Rome. And it's a rather insidious piece of propaganda for the reasons that are enumerated in the video. So go ahead and give that a click. All right. And here is our notes for the Augustus of Primaporta.